Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the 9.2 beta, just some general thoughts and state of the game type things, what we're looking forward to. I just recently completed the 9.2 beta, and so my thoughts are pretty fresh. Even taking some notes and things like that, because I do want to give good feedback to Kabam on this. And so I feel like there's a general sentiment right now, at least from what I'm seeing, that it's been a little frustrating for a lot of people. And I'm in agreement. I do feel like if I had to sum up the 9.2 beta in a single word, it would be annoying, is what it felt like throughout most of it, unfortunately. I've really enjoyed most of story mode, but 9.2, at least this test version, has been quite annoying. And so I want to give a couple of reasons as to why I think that is. And, I think these are easy fixes, though. So I do feel like Kabam can make these changes before the actual release, and then it won't be too big of a deal. So, number one, I feel like a lot of the node combinations that they came up with, it's almost like a half positive thing, right? So it's like, for example, you have a node like pumping iron, so you need to have buffs in order to even do damage, right? So that's right there, boom, that's one. You got to have buffs. But then they'll have another node on there that essentially punishes you for using, cosmic champions, for example. And so I get it, you can switch that up, use champions that have buffs that aren't cosmic champions. And, but I just feel like it limits the people you're allowed to use. And I feel like story mode is supposed to be that place where you can use as many champions as possible to at least get through it, right? I understand there should be at least one hard path, in each little section. That's totally fair. I think it makes sense, right? Make the completion easy, but then the exploration could be an actual challenge because there's great rewards from these things. And number two is there are a couple bugs in it, which obviously they'll fix, right? So I think there's one right here. So on this heavy attack, oh, that one worked. But in other cases, that heavy attack won't remove the unstoppable like it's supposed to. But again, those things will be fixed. But as long as we're pointing those things out to Kabam, I don't think there'll be an issue. So if you do find bugs, definitely point them out. That way they can take care of them. So I think it's right here. Yeah, see, the unstoppable stays on when it should go off. Number two, this actually just annoys me in general about what they're doing with some champion designs, and now it's attacking nodes, right? So in the first section, there's a node that removes your dexterity mastery. I can't stand those things. I can't stand it. Dexterity is kind of the skillful part of being the player, and to have that taken away from you is a little annoying. And what's actually funny is I was thinking about this. I would rather it be on nodes, like it is in this case, than on champions. I feel like that's lame champion design, but nodes, probably fine that they do that. So if they were to switch that, that'd be great. But the fact that it's both, you have champions that take away masteries, and now we're going to have nodes that take away masteries, that's just going to be a blast, I'm sure. So a couple other things. I just felt like, again, being limited on your champ selection, having nodes that simultaneously benefit / punish you. And then with the Scourge nodes, I feel like the benefit for doing what it asks isn't that great. And the punishment for not doing what it asks is really heavy. And so I feel like that's a little unbalanced. Because I do feel like throughout most of the fights, the Scourge nodes at least, you're trying to do what the Scourge is asking for. So like in this case right here, it's like you want to hit your specials and block. And this is the only path that was fun. You get a big benefit for it, plus Valkyrie's great. But in other scenarios, it didn't feel like you were getting a lot of damage for doing what the Scourge node was asking. And if you didn't do it, you were punished quite heavily. So those are just some of my thoughts. And the next thing, guys, just something I want to point out in general. So when you're doing these things, if you had the opportunity to participate in the 9.2 beta and you're going to give your feedback, do it as professionally and as cordially as you possibly can. Kabam as a development team has an incentive to make the game fun and enjoyable. So there's no reason to be insulting, to make assumptions that they hate the player base. None of that stuff makes sense. I get it. They can do things right. The goal is to make money at the end of the day. If the company doesn't make money, the employees don't get paid, and it all falls out, right? So you've got to have that. So there's an incentive to make money, but there's also an incentive for the game to be fun, because the money will come if they do that. And so I believe truly that they want to work on these things. And we just need to point them out to them, okay? Point out the things that we're feeling about it, and I'm pretty sure they'll take them into consideration. They may not change everything. They're not going to make everything super easy. I do think the challenge is fun. You've got to have some of that. But they want it to be enjoyable as well. So make sure to include those things when you're giving that feedback. And again, you don't know these people personally, right? We might communicate with the community team a little bit, but you don't know these people personally. I'm sure they're all great people, just like you guys are great people. So don't let like a culture of assuming that the development, the big bad company is out there to get you. They're not. So keep those things in mind. And I hope that helps you. Give your feedback. It will definitely help. And best of luck in the Battle Realm, my friends.